So here's how you take notes in a problem-based technical class, where the professor is for the most part going over sample problems on the board. So you've got to capture the sample problems that the professor puts on the board. You also have to capture, however, the steps the professor takes to get from the answer, the question to the answer. But also you need to annotate these steps. You need to have explanation for why you went from here to there or from there to this place here. In other words, you have to make sure that you're understanding how the professor got to the answer and you're not just transcribing what he wrote on the board. Now when I say annotate, I mean literally draw an arrow. Draw an arrow right to the step and say, remember, this is because you took the square root. Right? You don't have to be neat. You don't have to have things within the lines. Draw all over your note paper while taking notes in the course. Now what happens if you get to a step in the course and you don't understand what just happened? How did the professor get from this step to that step? And you're clueless about it. What's the right thing to do? Well, I believe in something called the 48-hour rule. That means you have 48 hours from the first moment where you're confused until you understand and have gotten rid of that confusion. So you have a couple options here. The first thing you can do is raise your hand during class in the exact moment that you're confused and ask the professor to clarify. Now, if it's a large lecture hall or you've already raised your hand too many times and you don't want to do it again, your second option is to go up to the professor at the end of class and say, can I ask you a question? I was confused about this step. Can you tell me how that worked? Now, if you don't have time to do that, mark exactly where you're confused in your notes with a question mark so you won't forget, and bring it to the next office hours for that professor, or email the question to the professor or a teaching assistant. So you have these multiple layers of defense against you not understanding something. But the key is that as soon as you are confused on something, you begin your effort to fill in that blank. Do not wait until the day before the exam to try to relearn all these steps you didn't understand. You want to do the learning as close as possible to when the material was first presented to you.